Professor Raymond Noby, Department of Ancient History, log entry number 2. I believe I have made a significant find in the castle of Kandarian. Having journeyed there with my wife Henrietta, my daughter Annie, and Associate Professor Ed Getley. It was in the rear chamber of the castle we stumbled upon something remarkable. Naturam de Monto, the book of the dead. My wife and I brought the book to this cabin, where I could study it undisturbed. It was here that I began the translation. The book speaks of a spiritual presence, a thing of evil that roams the forests and the dark bowers of man's domain. It is through the recitation of the book's passages that this dark spirit is given license to possess the living. Recorded here are the phonetic pronunciations of those passages. Kanda, Estrata, Montos, Iris,
What is up, Evil Dead fans? In this video, we're going to talk about the Evil Dead 2 Kandarian Dagger. But before I get started, the one thing I have to mention is this book. Now, filming this video, I realized in Evil Dead 2, this was not called a Necronomicon. It's called the Naturam de Monto. Same with Evil Dead 1, same with Evil Dead Rise. The only ones that we know so far, and I have to go back to 2013 and double check that are called Necronomicons is Army of Darkness and possibly 2013. So, as the famous wrestler Ric Flair would say, stop calling this a Necronomicon right now! Right now! Flair, I don't like the way you're talking about the book that I know and represent. Yeah, when I look at this book, I think it's a Necronomicon. It really doesn't matter what you gotta think or what you say. Yeah, because I got the madness right now. The madness! Ooh, yeah. Enough of that. Let's get to the Kandarian Dagger. So right here we have the Evil Dead 2 Kandarian Dagger. Now, when I made this, this has real chicken bones. This has the kit bones that were used by Tom Sullivan back in the day. When he redid this back in the 80s, 1986, 1987. Now, we know that the first Dagger was done about 1978, 1979, right in there before filming for Evil Dead 1, and he took that Dagger, made it into the Evil Dead 2 Dagger. Things have changed throughout time with the daggers. Now, if you have ever gotten one from Tom Sullivan or David Bartrug from Monster Collectors, you will know that both are legit and both are real. Now, the one thing that I had to do making this is decide how I'm going to do this and what look I wanted. Now, I wanted the Hero Tom Dagger. That's what I wanted. Now, you can see that side of the skull. Man, that looks so fucking good, I ain't gonna lie. The back, this side. And the thing is, when you're doing something like this, what you want to do is you want that fat look, but the thin look. You can see it's like thin up front. It starts to look fat. And I wanted that look to where Annie picks it up when Annie uses this thing. So you can see how it's thin right here. So when it's laying on the table, she walks up and it's laying down. Let's pull that back a bit. You got this look. Just like that. Now, if you have one of these, you know, store-bought, if you got one store-bought or somebody made you one, the one thing that you will see is the blade is a lot thicker. Now, when Tom did this, it was a lot thinner, and the one I got from David Bartrug, which was a Tom Sullivan dagger, it's thin like this. So me having the Tom one, I was able to replicate all of these to size, front and back. Now, there was a problem. with the problem was the break, and I'll get to that in a second. The nice thing about having the one from David that I bought is knowing the correct bones all the way across, sizing everything out. Of course, the teeth, I had to fix that. If you saw the past videos talking about me sculpting this thing, I do talk about that a little bit more. But when it came to the blade, from about, I would say, to about right around here on this side, and to about right about here, so you got about like this, down was broken off at some point. And I do have photos to reference that. So doing the research on this, I had to find photos of the original Tom Sullivan Hero Evil Dead 2 Dagger, which is just simply incredible. And I had to fix different ones. There is one section that I used from the David dagger, which was Tom's dagger, to make, and that was this area right here. And it's kind of hard to tell in the photo if it changed or not, so I used it as what was on David's or Tom's dagger. But everything down, I had to use the photo. I have like full photos of this dagger, full front, full down, to make this happen and to scale this. Now, the way I scaled this to know the difference is I used the photo of the full dagger, scaled that down, and with that difference, I put it up to the rest of the David dagger on the ones up here I know that weren't changed or fixed, and scaled that to find my measurement down here. So if you have one from Tom Sullivan or one from David Bartrug for Monster Collectors, the blade's gonna be 12 inches. Now from the break, where I had to change everything, I had to add, I think it was 3 inches, 3 3/4 inches right there, 3 3/4 inches. So this makes this blade roughly from here to here, 14.5 inches. So you're saying, well, the math doesn't add up. Well, I had to take off the repairs of the other one to compare. I didn't have to cut up that other dagger because I would never do that, because that thing is just a lovely piece to have. But I wanted something in my personal collection that was like pulled off a set. So that was what I was striving for with this. So let's take a close look right here. You can see it's very thin. Right there. And like I said, if you have one that was store-bought from different companies or a company, you'll notice it's a lot more round. This one is not, it's way thinner. This is, what I wanted was Tom Sullivan's like hero dagger. So let's look at it this way. And one thing that is cool, when you look at it this way, you will see how it kind of like goes that direction. Now the reason why it looks like that, and it is that way, is about right at this bone right here. You can see it goes that way. And that's on the photos that I have when I had to fix this front to make this happen. And the dagger I got from David is all in contact. I didn't change anything on it. I didn't like mold anything. This is all hand sculpted. I have photos to prove it. So if somebody's like, oh, you just took it and molded it, right? No, I didn't. This is all hand sculpted. And what I used, of course, real chicken bones. I used the kit bones from the Visible Man kit, a kit of fake resin teeth, and everything else that is sculpted, blade, and the body is all milliput, 100% milliput. And where's milliput right now? They need to sponsor me because I use the shit out of milliput. It'll save me a lot of money. Milliput's a nice sculpting product to use, simply because it dries, it doesn't crack, it doesn't shrink. It's a great product. And another thing I had to do when it came to the break was with the repairs, they were very kind of like short in line, and I went ahead and matched the back to everything else that was on there prior. The reason I did that is I didn't have any clear photos on the back when it came to the repairs. So I had to just take matters in my own hands and do it to match that, because it wouldn't make sense to have about, 3 3/4 inches of like repair look. So like all this stuff right here that you see is accurate to what Tom did for Evil Dead 2. And then I had to, farther down, I matched it up, adding those little lines and stuff. But it all happened because Milliput exists and it's a great product. Again, the chicken bones as well, they match to size from the one I get from Monster Collectors. The one thing I had to do, I talked about the rib cage at some point, how I had to shave that down, make it look nice. So if you're wanting to make one of these or modify one, I have those other few videos on this Dagger. But look at this thing. Simply amazing. When it came to the paint, I didn't use black paint. I used a color called Pavement. I used raw sienna, and also I used a wood stain. Now, the wood stain, at the moment, I can't remember the name of it, but basically all the bones were wood stained, and the pavement got some stain on it. Oh, I did use white on the head right here, of course. Same thing with the blade, no white, just the raw sienna, and then the pavement color. Now, when you add the stain with it, it actually darkens everything down a little bit more, makes it look better. I used an acrylic matte seal on this that you can get at Hobby Lobby. I don't use the stuff you get from automotive store because it just doesn't work very well. You know, I added like a shine to it, but that stuff you can get from Hobby Lobby is just acrylic matte clear. That's it, and it really seals things up really nice. It sealed up the stain when it came to the bones here that aren't real bones, of the kit bones. So with the kit bones, I did the same thing, sealed it. You know, if I had to add more, I would stain it again, seal it again. And that sealant dries in like 5 minutes, so that's what's nice. But this thing is badass. This thing is for my personal collection. I'm not selling this. I am not molding this. A lot of people have asked me if I would do commissions on something like this, and I'm like, no, this is just for me. So at the end of the day, I do love this thing. This thing is great. It's perfect size. So let's do like Amy look, where she has it up like this, like that. And I do talk about different bone placements, like specifically this one right here. But I want that that proper look. So I love this piece. And if you want to know about the bone positions, all the different things that have to be modified to make one of these things happen, look on my YouTube channel. I do have videos on all this. So it's very, very cool. I love this. And something I don't plan on getting rid of, honestly. If I ever do, it already has a home that has been claimed for it if I ever decide to part with this piece. So when it comes to making a prop like this, making it as real as possible, a lot of people ask you, how real can you make it be? How real is it? How close to screen accurate can you make it? Well, there's a lot of answers to that. And what the... I'm a little busy. You can make them as real as you want, but until next time, you guys stay groovy. Hey, if you like this video, like, subscribe, all that fun shit. If you're in the Evil Dead props, all the way from Evil Dead 1 all the way to Evil Dead Rise, which is coming very soon, stay tuned for more content.